Did you ever feel that you had to work twice as hard to prove yourself as a non-Japanese American would?
No. I think sometimes, depending on the person, I felt like I could do just as much in half the time, you know. But there again, the assignment has something to do with that, you know.
But you didn't feel like you had to prove yourself to them then?
No. No, I actually I had a kind of embarrassing situation when I was in Australia. Was that they had assigned an officer to my unit, to my team, and I says, "Well, good, he can be the captain of the team, and I was a sergeant, tech sergeant, and I could work for him." He said, "No, he's going to work for you." And it was embarrassing to have an officer working for an enlisted man, you know. But then I went to Korea and I found that that was true. Because we had, in our regiment that we were attached to for rations and quartering, there were 2 companies that had First Lieutenant World War II veterans as company commanders, with 2 majors, they're subordinates. The subordinate to the first lieutenant, 2 ranks down. And the intelligence unit in the regiment, they had a first lieutenant World War II veteran, recalled, with 2 majors working for him in regimental intelligence. And the colonel of the regiment says, I put not rank in position, but I put the proper person into the position. We are at war. We don't put rank in position. I don't put rank in a position. I put the person that can cut the mustard in position, regardless of rank. And that was a lot of talk about that at the time.
Were you ever stationed in Japan during the war? Or soon after the war?
Yes. Soon as the groundwork was laid for the occupation of Japan, then I was assigned to the headquarters commandant of MacArthur's headquarters, and to be work with him. I presume to be interpreting, you know, in Japan. And on the board ship going to Japan, why, first day out, he asked me to his stateroom, and I went there. And he asked me, he told me that I'm going to figure 2 soldiers to assign to you for bodyguards. And I says, well, Colonel, I don't need bodyguards, you know. And he says, well, this is the first day at sea, so why don't you think about it? We'll talk about it some more tomorrow. I said, okay. And went back. And tomorrow the next day he calls up again and he says, Watanabe, you think about it? Bodyguards for you? And I says, I don't need bodyguards. And he says, why? I says, because the war's over, Colonel, and they are people like you and me. Why should I have a bodyguard? People are people, you know. And he thought about that for a while. He says, okay. He said, will you do something for me? He says, I know you were assigned to me to be an interpreter and so forth, but I'm short of officers. Will you do other work besides? I said, sure, anything you want me to do, I'll be happy to do. And so when we get to Yokohama and get on a troop convoy and go in, we drive along, and we're in Tokyo, and and the convoy stops about midnight. Somebody's beating on the side of the trucks calling out my name, so I poked my head out and I said, here I am. And they said, well, grab your bags, this is where you get off. I grabbed my bag, jumped off, and convoy takes off. Left me standing there on the street. And I looked up and it's a Daiichi hotel. So I said, well, if they're going to leave me here, I might as well go inside and find a quiet place to sleep. I went in there in the lobby and everything was all full of baggage. The Japanese were moving out, see. And And so next morning I woke up, rubbing my eyes, and there's signal corps putting in telephone lines. So I went to the sergeant. I says, how long is it going to take you to get the telephone lines in? Oh, I said, about another hour. I said, will I be able to call the headquarters commandant? Oh, yeah, you should be able to. So I waited around, and I called him up, and he answers the phone, and, where are you? I says, well, I looked at the building outside. It says Daiichi Hotel. He says, well, you're going to run that hotel. 735-room hotel. It was in a mess. 4 years of no attention. I find out later that the air conditioning didn't work, and the hot water system hadn't been used for 4 years. And nothing been maintained for 4 years. And I went down to the kitchen. There was nothing in the kitchen. All the metal had been taken out. All the elevator cars except one was removed. So people who live assigned to the 7th floor room have to walk up and down those stairs. And I had the busiest 4 months of my life in Tokyo, getting that hotel in the shape. So getting elevator cars in, getting it redone, turn the hot water on, 400 leaks, you know. Air conditioning system didn't work, got that straightened out. The heating system wouldn't work, got that straightened out. Had to get tailoring service for the occupants, for the colonels, colonels and admirals, and not colonels and majors that stayed there, and lieutenant colonels, and 2 generals that didn't want to go to the Imperial Hotel. I had a delegation of 14 from Russia, Russian embassy. They couldn't get into their embassy because it was the old hierarchy that was still there. So they had locked everything, wouldn't let them in. So they stayed at the hotel, and they were troublemakers. Russian, they would drink vodka and come home and tear up everything, you know. Finally got them kicked out. I had to write a 2-page single-spaced misdemeanor list that they were causing, and sent it to General Willoughby. And he used that to kick them out of the hotel. Tell them, go find your own stuff in Tokyo. Yeah.
You were, you know, in contact with so many high-ranking officers, including probably MacArthur himself?
Never saw MacArthur.
Never saw.
I saw his wife in Tokyo a lot of times, but never saw him.